Hello friends, welcome to the core concept. Today we are going to discuss about something important topic related to how the states are burdening with the center, which is not able to sharing the regular path of financial commission recommendations. What it means, if you see that center share which was given by the state and the state by the back which was giving to the state for this expenditure, it's obviously very low. So the main here issue is, I already mentioned in the title clearly, the center state skew further widening. The skew which is here defining as a tax. The tax burden. If you see the expenditure towards a particular state, if the state having the more population more than 5 crores, their tax burden, their tax share burden and the expenditure burden are more when compared to the center collecting tax rate. So here in this video we are going to discuss about the what are the issues which are facing by the state and because of center not sharing their taxes in the regular manner, and how the what are the financial commission recommended towards the union government, how much share should be you have to be give to the state. These kind of information we are going to discuss in the issue part, and in the same in a solution part we are going to discuss about what are the further steps have union government have to take to reduce the burden of expenditures among the states. Okay, let me discuss. Let's see the first point. The share of state is a divisible pool is sharing despite they are carrying a higher burden of expenditures. Obviously, if you see most of the collection of taxes from the states, especially if you see in the fuel taxes or fuel surcharges, fuel cess, these kind of taxes are collected by the state government and giving their all the collected revenues to the central government. After that, the share which was have to be given to a particular state based upon their population and based upon their expenditures needed for the particular state, that is what the question here. Actually the center is fulfilling the state excitements to sharing the amount. Okay, so what the here main issue is, the states are burdening more expenditure. If you see the expenditure for the particular state, for example, if you see the Tamil Nadu expenditure rate, it is around 62.4 percentage in based upon their revenue, which means how much they are paying as collectible taxes revenues to the center. By the return they are getting, it is not enough to fulfill their expenditure. That is what the problem here. So these big state, especially the Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, these states are expecting a more amount from the center to cope up with their expenditure. That's what here first point mentioned, burden of expenditure, that is the main issue here. Now see the second point, financial stress mainly due to Ujjwala Discom Assurance Yojana. Yes, these kind of centrally sponsored and center state sponsored schemes are giving more burden to the states. For example, if center started Ujjwala Yojana, means they are giving a subsidy rate of gas to the poor people, but the subsidy rate should be shared between a 60 to 40 ratio. 60 ratio for the central government, 40 ratio for the state government. Now the state government are burdening to pay the 40 ratio point of the payment. That's what the issue here. If you see, the some big states are under the special category rank. For example, if you take Andhra Pradesh as a special category rate, which is a ratio of 90:10. I hope you already know what is the centrally sponsored scheme, central state sponsored schemes, because here we are not going to discuss about the basic thing. If the centrally sponsored scheme means all the central government's expenditures are taken over by the central government. Central state sponsored scheme means states are going to give a certain amount of share towards the particular scheme. For example, if you take a Ujjwala Yojana, 60:40 for the Tamil Nadu, 60% of amount is going to paid by the central government and 40% of amount by the state government. For the special category state, its ratio was 90:10. 90 means 90% of amount paid by central and 10% amount by state government. That is what the centrally and state sponsor scheme. Central sponsor scheme is totally sponsored by the central government. Okay, so these kind of central state sponsor schemes are getting more burden to the state. For example, farm loan waivers. The farm loan waivers, recently the government are sudden announcement, giving a sudden announcement to give the benefit for the farmers to loan waiver. These kind of schemes and these kind of party manifestos during the election times they are giving, means these are going to increase the burden for the state expenditures. That is what the problem here. Now see the third point. The total revenue raised by the union government is 62.7 percentage. The state borne for the expenditure around 62.4 percentage, which means the revenue which was getting by the central government based upon the taxes, especially the indirect taxes and the surcharges and cess, it is was around 62.7 percentage of total revenue they are getting from these kind of taxes, indirect taxes, surcharges and cesses. But the actual expenditure for the state is very less when compared to the state, because the state is having the more expenditure when compared to the central government, because the states are also want to go do many welfare activities, social welfare activities, social justice activities, and expenditures towards the taking care of children and taking care of women, and they have to be given their 40% ratio to the subsidy rates. These kind of issues are expenditure issues are within the state government. So the state governments, what is the here main issue is the state governments need more share from their central tax collecting rate. Okay, that's what here the main issue is. Now see the fourth point. 14th and 15th Financial Commission recommendation shows on increasing the shares of 40% as a permissible. Last Financial Commission, 15th Financial Commission, which was happened in the year of 2019, it shows the 40% of shares should be increased as of now, which means in the year of 2019, what is the share is giving to government is giving to the particular share, means they have to increase 40% amount in that particular amount, which means the states are in the need of expenditure. That's what the Finance Commission also identified, that the states are burdening with expenditure, so government should be increased at least to 40% of their share to the states. That's what here the main problem is. Okay, now see the fifth point. Still the gap is what is recommended and what is actually implemented is 11% point of difference, which means due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the state also, I mean union government also not able to get a proper revenue from the taxes, because of the peoples are under the distress of the pandemic. So they are the revenue from the taxes are also less during those particular year when we compare to the financial year of 2020 and 2021. Now as of now 2022, again we have achieved the good amount of indirect tax revenue. If we last week we saw the news also, the revenue for GST, it's compensated around 1 lakh crores, right? So now it's okay, but in those time, especially the 2019, how much they recommended? 40% they recommended from the as of a current value, but still if you see the percentage of the allocation for the particular state, it's the difference is around the 11% point. Okay, so you remember just these points, like it is very difficult to remember those percentage value, but you have to just rough you have to just make it one rough value around 62 or 62, 62.7, 62.4. The permissible value is 40. That is absolutely a financial commission statement is 40. You just remember 40%. Okay, and the pandemic hits of the union government taxes steep fall. I already mentioned the steep fall of the percentage of the tax revenues. It's 15%, 9% in the financial year 2021 because of the pandemic effect. Okay, that's what I mentioned here. And the second point, the union government shares continues to be raised because of increasing the cess and surcharge, which is not shareable to the states. The blunder mistake here is, if you see these cess and surcharges which was collected by the union government for the any particular purpose, for if you see in the state of Kerala, the cess was collected 1% in the fuel for the disaster affected area, to develop the disaster affected area. So these kind of cesses and surcharges, even state government also can levy cesses and surcharges, but the central governments are already reviewed these kind of cess and surcharges in the fuel. Fuel is a very essential commodity. If you take average cess and surcharge which was collected in the financial year of 2012 and 2020. Let's see the third point, 2012 and 2021. The surcharge and cess rate was around 10.4 percentage to 20 percentage. Now the total revenue from the surcharge and the cesses was around what, 20 percentage, which means the government is getting a bulk amount of money. Union government is getting a bulk amount of tax revenues from this cess and the surcharge, but what the search and suggestions for what they are collecting for the particular purposes, those amount are not going to shareable to the state government. The default of the cess and surcharge is the amount which was collecting under this SNC. SNC means cess and the surcharges. Collecting under the SNC means they are they are not mandatory to share with the state government. That is what the advantage with the SNC. Okay. You remember SNC, that is more than enough. Don't go further detail with cess and surcharges, because if you ask me whether the state government can implement this SNC means, yes, the state governments also can be implemented this SNC, but if they are going to implement means that is going to increase the financial burdens among the people. Okay, that's what the message. I already mentioned the fourth point. SNC largely from the fuel. The Union government implemented the SNC in the fuel, so they are getting a 20 percentage of total indirect revenue from this SNC, especially from the fuel. That is what the matter is. That amount is not going to share with the state government. Okay. Now the actual purpose of collecting SNC in the fuel is to transfer to the transfer those collectible amount to the oil industry development board, because the oil industry development board, based upon the recommendation of oil industry development board, they are going to collect the SNC in the fuel. But after collecting the revenue from SNC, actually the government is transferring those particular amount to the oil industry development board or not, means which is the answer is no. They are not, absolutely they are not correctly they are transferring the total amount, total revenue which was collected from the SNC, especially the fuel, to the OIDA DB. Okay, OIDB, remember OIDB. Okay, that's what the here problem is. They are collecting SNC based upon the one particular issue, but after collecting the revenue, they are not going to share those particular amount towards the particular department. That's what here the main issue with the SNC. And obviously I already mentioned the SNC is not going to anyhow not going to share with the state government revenue. So the bulk amount or particular bulk amount is its government, union government is covering, and directly put those amount in the what, where in the consolidated fund of India. Okay, remember SNC taxes, indirect taxes, they are going towards the consolidated fund of India. Don't take these and are going towards the public account, because only the provident fund amount, insurance amount, employee state insurance corporation amount, these kind of public amount, welfare, social welfare activities amounts are going towards, attracted towards the public accounts, public account. Okay, it is those amounts are not going toward attract towards the consolidated fund of India, but cess and surcharges and indirect taxes and direct taxes are going towards attract towards the consolidated fund of India. Remember those points also. Okay, now the solution part. Here is a suggestion we are going to give a government in the upcoming year. The share should be increasing as the recommended by the Finance Commission. Obviously, the Finance Commission already in the 2019 they recommended 40% increasing as of now of current value, which means the big states are getting burdened because of their huge expenditure. That's what some here meaning is. Okay, remember those points. Second point, union government should understood the financial burden of the state in terms of expenditure. Obviously, I already said union government should understand they have to fulfill the subsidy for the central state sponsor scheme. If the 40% ratio amount the state government have to giving means, the union government should give their share in the proper year basis. That is what the point here. Allocation should be implemented based upon the Financial Commission recommendation. Obviously, 2019 Financial Commission recommendation increasing the 40% value of the total shares as of current value now. Okay, big states are highly affected in the revenue allocation. Obviously, I already mentioned Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, West Bengal are the most affected by the financial burden. If SNC, surcharge and cesses collected means it should be reached the concerned department allocation. I already mentioned, for example, I say the issue arises with the fuel surcharges and the cesses. SNC in the fuel are collecting on based upon the recommendation of Oil Industry Development Board, OIDB. Okay, after collecting the particular amount, they are going actually they are sharing with the OIDB or not. They have to analyze means they are not properly sharing those surcharges and charges which was collected based upon OIDB, which is they are not properly they are sharing with OIDB. That is what the issue here. Stress and surcharges are collecting based upon any one particular issue they are collecting, and after collecting those revenues they are going to share with those particular department. But here the main issue is they are not properly sharing with those particular department. Here was the issue is. So people, you have to just remember the issue. I already mentioned the issue in the 5 and 10 points, totally 10 points. You have to just remember the issue, and after the solution part it is a generalized solution answer. You just remember the solution answer also. In this particular PPT you just remember the issue, because if you see the issues, it is in a data point manner. In today's newspaper it is a data point manner, so you just remember the point data point value also. That is will be, you can hope up the answer with a perfect data value. So issues and solution part, that is more than enough. Okay, let me see in any other video. Thank you so much.